Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon, and welcome back to another Heaven's Monsters podcast. With me always is T-Money, His Majesty.
Terence.
You shot it too soon.
Sorry.
His Majesty.
Terence.
There you go. In which case, this... Huh?
I got excited.
Yeah, you did, because we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling on June 14th. Apparently, news hit before everything. This might be the last few showings of Scarlett Bordeaux, because Impact Wrestling has released her. So how many episodes left do we have? Because they do recordings in advance. So maybe it'll be like this coming 21st, tomorrow. Yeah, this Friday on the 21st may be the last time we see Scarlett Bordeaux, or the week after that as well. We don't know.
But there is talk, people are saying that she could sign with All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Just like Allie did.
Oh, and when is All Elite Wrestling coming to air on TNT?
October.
October what?
Well, I don't know the
They only say October?
Yeah, I don't know the date.
Okay, so
But the guy who's the president of that company is going to reveal that soon.
so this coming fall will be the premiere television premiere. I said it the other way. Television premiere of All Elite Wrestling AEW. So we'll see. Let's hope.
And TNT is glad, well, very, very happy to get back in professional wrestling. Just like they did with WCW.
And for those who would want to check out more of All Elite Wrestling, I highly recommend checking Nightmare Family, which is Cody Rhodes' YouTube, for a lot of All Elite Wrestling. Go check it out. If you like Cody Rhodes and what All Elite Wrestling AEW is representing, go check it out. And of course, if you want to see the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, go check out, I think it's pronounced Elite. The Elite, something like that. Damn it. I'll leave descriptions down below on both their channels, just to be safe. So let's go ahead and talk about the main attraction of this review.
If I see Allie on All Elite Wrestling, I hope she's a blonde again.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to wait and see. First up, we have the North. Ethan Page and Jax Alexander versus Rob Van Dam and Sabu with Super Genie, his girl, in a tag team match. Oh, at the Bash Brewery. Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be a special event. I guess they're going to televise it. That's why I watched earlier this week, because I said on Monday that I was still watching it. So here it is. In this match, it would be a hardcore ass match. Tables, chairs, and all that. Trash can lids, you name it. Except for some of the thumbtacks and other bloodier stuff like a stapler gun weren't used. But at the end of it, it would be the North that defeats Rob Van Dam and Sabu because of their cheating ways. Well, technically it was all legal since they were weapons. And they would pick on them. Ultimately, oh, that's right. It was Moose who interfered in the match. That's what I meant by cheating. That's right. Mm-hmm. I remember they cheated. And ultimately, Tommy Dreamer would come out to be the difference maker, and they would all kick Moose's ass together with no help from the North. And Moose would go into the back to chew them out, saying, "Where were you? I came out and delivered that win, and this is how you would pay me?" And they heard his comments last week prior when he issued that challenge to Rob Van Dam at a match at Dallas, Texas for Slammiversary.
Was that a hardcore match?
I don't think so. Looks like it's a regular match, he said.
Because I would have said if Moose challenged a wrestling hardcore match, never challenge an ECW veteran in a hardcore match.
Unless you're willing to go hardcore, like Killer Cross. He beat a lot of CW originals. He did. Killer Cross don't play around.
I don't know. Was it Raven he beat?
He beat a lot of them. He beat people like Raven, Tommy Dreamer, think some other ones.
Sabu.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he fought Rob Van Dam yet.
Oh.
I don't think so. If he did, that is yet to be heard from. I had to hear it. So we'll have to wait and see. Next we have Havoc with James Mitchell and Su Yung versus Masa. It's just a fill-in girl, and she gets devastated after the match because Havoc would win. James Mitchell issues a challenge to Rosemary and stating his purpose on bringing Havoc to Impact for a reason, to return a favor and a promise of gold. So the way it's going to turn out, it's going to be Rosemary and Havoc in a triple threat with the Knockouts champion, Taya Valkyrie.
I haven't seen that girl in years.
Mm-hmm. Ja Singh?
Raj Singh.
Raj Singh with, how you pronounce the old man?
Rohit Raju.
And Gama Singh versus Cody Deaner with his cousin Jake. Yeah, see, there I go again. Jake, not Jack. I saw Jack. Ultimately, not Deaners. The Dizzy Hit Squad gets a win thanks to the Rohit Raju faking a heart attack, saying it was false alarm, ultimately distracting Cody Deaner and having him get freaking distracted to lose the match. Daggone.
You know who would be part of the Dizzy Hit Squad?
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably Jinder Mahal. He was a member.
We then have Rosemary doing a promo saying that to question James Mitchell's control over the monster Havoc, and seeing that he has little control over previous monsters such as Dark Alley, Su Yung, and etc. Su Young's pretty much in control right now. She's the beta compared to the alpha that it's Havoc, if I was to be honest. Ooh, let me back this up because I see half my head on top is beta. We then have, and the gall, we already know this guy has no shame. Sami Callihan enters the women's locker room of all things just to get in Tessa Blanchard's face and issue a challenge to her boy Jake Christ in a match next week. So it's going to be an intergender match between Tessa Blanchard and one of the members of OVE, and you know OVE is going to probably be in his corner. We then have Jordan Grace versus Madison Rayne with special commentator, the new blue flame, light violet dyed hair of Kiera Hogan. So now she's changed her gimmick and is wearing a beautiful green dress, might I add. It's long and silky. And she's somehow distracted Jordan Grace, but I gotta state my claim. It wasn't because of her that she lost the match. Yeah. Madison Rayne is no pushover, being a former 5 or 6 time Knockouts champion.
Probably 6.
Yep, and got her finishing move on Jordan Grace from behind while standing up, and boom, got the win. And Kiera Hogan taking that credit nonetheless. So apparently those two are going to have a match between Jordan Grace and Kiera Hogan once again. We then have Killer Cross versus the Sandman. Prior to Sandman interfering in Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross's match, bringing in a new kendo stick and ultimately drawing a smiley face on it saying Kenny 2.0, Sandman sees that Killer Cross sees Sandman as an obstacle to his destruction of Eddie Edwards. Ultimately, Killer Cross makes Sandman tap out, and Eddie Edwards comes to his rescue from doing any further damage by the hands of the Killer Cross. We then have the Smoke Show with Scarlett Bordeaux and Fallah Bahh, alongside the Knockouts champion Taya Valkyrie, and beside her, Johnny Bravo. It would then be issued by Taya Valkyrie, informed by the Smoke Show herself, saying that next week she will have to defend her title, otherwise she will be stripped. But prior to the 30-day defending title clause. And she is not happy to hear who her opponent is. Su Yung. She is flipped. She flipped. Oh, hell no. She even said that she doesn't drink a certain type of, it has to be only a certain type of, let's see, champagne. It has to be a certain champagne. It's not mentioned here. But nonetheless, she, after hearing the fact that she's going to fight Su Yung, she offers the fact that you're going to need this. She just takes that champagne, doesn't care anymore. She's drinking the hell out of it.
Because she is scared. Because you think about it, Su Yung is going to have them dead brides with her.
We then have a very interesting 4-minute promo of the, I guess you call it the club? The little area where they drink, of the LAX. And it once again gets invaded, and they say, your security sucks, by the Rascals. The LAX were waiting for one of their, I guess, Mexican wrestlers. I thought it was Phoenix. Wasn't Phoenix, it was somebody else altogether. Somebody new. And an issue was made saying that they want another shot at them titles because they were that close. Conan was previously chewing them out, saying that they almost did, and they were stating the fact that no, they didn't, because the guy who pinned me wasn't part of the match. That's the part where the Rascals did come in afterwards, and they stated that issue, saying that they wanted. And one of the guys, I think it was Wince, that idiot, he goes and gets up and Santana's face and pushes him in the face, telling him that they do deserve a match. And Conan says, do it. They beat the living hell, and it turns into a brawl where Conan is just hitting them from the side, not truly interfering in the match, but still taking cheap shots. And all three Rascal members are on the floor just being stomped on, telling them that they needed to learn some respect. That's where it's set off with, he's stupid. He's in their house, and they thought, because they warned them they would get jumped. They warned them, they didn't listen. Turn this back on. The luchador that would be come in is like, what the hell? What happened? Oh, we just handling some business. So that said, he then picks the pocket from one of the members. I think it was Tez. And boy, that's sad. They get jumped. The main event then comes into play where we have Michael Elgin versus Willie Mack. And ultimately it would, if I'm correct, nope. Michael Elgin defeated Willie Mack fair and square, and ultimately tries to put him in the hospital thanks to the fact of, oh yeah, that's how he won. Thanks to the fact that Michael Elgin tried to use Rick Swann as a shield because Willie Mack was going for a suicide dive. He then, immediately before Rick Swann can retaliate, slams him on the apron, gets in the ring, and powerbombs him into the turnbuckle, and then goes for a spinning sit-down powerbomb, winning the match. Rick Swann retaliating, kicks him upside the head, tries to do some damage, ultimately is assist. Yeah, I don't need this no more. Is assist by Johnny Impact, and using a new type of move where he has him over his shoulders like this, like Sheamus's Celtic cross where he throws him. Nope, he just spins him and slams him. He then shakes the hand of Michael Elgin, but then is stupid enough to turn his back on Michael Elgin and gets freaking snap suplex. And I mean, he got hit hard. And then he goes to work back on Willie Mack and just on the outside turnbuckle throws him into it. And you can hear the commentator saying, not on the floor, not on the floor. And then he throws him on the turnbuckle. He's like, oh God, oh, that's worse than a floor. ultimately sending all three of these guys theoretically to the hospital and still calling Brian Cage, who said he will show up at Slammiversary in perfect health, calling him a coward because he's not in Impact fighting like a champ, that he's a coward. So that will be the end of the show. Shout out to our boys Xavier Hill and Mike Henry. A link to their YouTube pages will be in the descriptions down below, as always. Remaining shout out to Renee, Farrell, Andre, Chris Petrie, and Delvin. And I want to thank my boy T-Money for being here, as always.
Yes, sir.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button, like the content, and hit that notification bell for the next Heaven Monsters podcast. What was your take on this?
Still laughing that Taya Valkyrie has to defend her title against Su Yung.
Yeah. She doesn't want to deal with that mist. That she doesn't want to deal with that.
And not happy that Scarborough had
Been released.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I hope, like I said, I hope she goes to AEW.
She wasn't even denying the fact that she was being called out as a hoe or a slut. Certain gestures that signified that. She didn't deny them. She was even making certain dirty jokes herself, and Johnny Bravo was liking it, and so was Father Bob. But Taya Valkyrie was like, Father Bob was like, and he was even looking at Johnny Bravo, and they were looking at each other like, That's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Bye.